welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm here in Boston, Massachusetts, and the weather is nice and warm today, a little warmer than normal. But in fact, you know, the temperature is actually what it's supposed to be this time of year. But nothing in comparison to what it is in Jamaica. You know, my couple of weeks I spent in Jamaica, I mean, I tell you, the weather was so nice. It was like 87 degrees every day. So, you know, I'm used to those kind of weather, but you can't get used to the cold, and it's cold as hell here sometimes. And it's because of the cold, I really can't get to, you know, to produce a lot of content for you guys. So what I'm doing right now, I'm just basically scraping by. But as the time gets warmer, I'm gonna flood you guys with all the best content. And like I said, this program is to showcase America. I want to actually bring forward to, you know, let people know the good areas and the not so affluent areas in America. So when you come here, you can, you know, you know what area to avoid. Because that's basically what it is. It's kind of, you know, it's an educational stuff. The video I'm going to show you today was it's actually the Pavilion Mall. I went to the Pavilion Mall in Kingston, in Tree actually. So I'm going to showcase that today. It's a relatively small mall, but it's, you know, for Jamaica, I think it's a reasonable size for Jamaica, given that we only have, you know, approximately 3 million people, and where it's located, it's in Kingston. So, you know, yeah, I think the size is relatively, I think it's a pretty decent size for, you know, for the amount of people that we have in Jamaica. Now, I did a little walk through and I actually went down Constant Spring Road, because it is located, for people who doesn't know, the Pavilion Mall is located right in the middle of Tree. It's actually it's in the middle of Constant Spring Road and Eastwood Park Road, so you can actually access it from Constant Spring Road, and you can also access it from Eastwood Park Road as well. So it's pretty easy to get to. Well, anyways, I actually did a little walk through and I went down Constant Spring Road, and I tell you, it was fun. It was really nice, you know, kind of, you know, it brought back a lot of memories, because these are places that I used to hang out. And you know, especially the Mandela Park. I actually walk around the Mandela Park just to see how it is, but it's unfortunate that that park, it looks like it's abandoned, because I noticed there was a lot of the gates are closed and not too many people in it, and it looks run down. So I don't think it's fully operational. I don't think it's even safe. I should actually do a video on it so people could understand, you know, at least people would know. But I don't think it is safe, given that it looks, you know, run down. But back in the days, man, this place used to be, you know, the place to be, especially on Friday evenings. Best place, Tree, Mandela Park was the place where they used to have the waterfall. Everything was out here. You used to have people in the mall, in the park, you know, that used to take pictures. And I'm telling you, it was a nice area, nice place to hang out. Now, they used to have guys, I don't know if people remember guys out there that used to, they call themselves the tree cards men. Them used to, you know, walk around with the cards, and them used to gamble, and you're supposed to pick the lucky, you know, pick the winning card for you. And a lot of people lose their money. A lot of people lost their weekly wages, because they're usually out there on weekends. So a lot of people end up losing their money. But I remember those days. I actually played it once, because I understand how it is. So I was watching them, and you know, to see how they move the card and where they put the card that I'm supposed to pick. And I picked 3 times. And I won all 3 times. And they told me they can't play with me anymore. They can't play, because that's how they are. They don't want to lose. They always want to win. So they told me, you know, they can't play with me anymore. So how that used to work, they used to have like a bunch of, maybe 3 or 4 guys that used to walk around, but they don't walk in groups. You know, they spread out. So one guy would have the card, and he would, you know, do his little thing. And then another one would approach and, you know, put some money on it and win. So that's how they used to lure you in. So when you see that person wins, you're gonna say, yeah, I can win too. And that's why a lot of people end up losing their money. But I was very smart when it comes to stuff like that. I pay attention, as to what they do, and I beat them at their game. So they never want to play. They never want to play with me. And I think, like I said, I played with them. I played 3 times and I won all 3. And they said, no way. So anytime they see me, they blow me off. They don't want to gamble with me. But that's how it was. But Mandela Park was a nice place, man. It was really nice. They used to have jerk chicken used to be right out here. They used to have sugar cane, them thing there. They love them thing there. And then you have the Odeon Theater right over there. For people who are familiar with that, with those things, they used to have Odeon Theater, JBC used to be down there. So, that place used to be a hot spot on Fridays, man. I tell you, right through the weekend. So for people who remember those things, those are things that you live by, man. And for people who were born after it, guys, you missed out. That's all I can say. So just enjoy the video. No, not today.
Nothing, road boy. Nothing. Nothing. No. Excuse me.
hustle and money from the ice. But I make room, hit a lot of better believe it.
You run for my money. There was nobody, no one ever. You run for my money.
Nobody carry them in peace. Nobody. Yeah, I'm running. I'm going on with all this stuff. Yo, brother, you tell me before, man. I'm there, get a small change to myself. Watch your people, them.